Stales here with another hot take about some RPG stuff I'm seeing. We keep hearing these days, D&D sucks, Shadow Dark is great, Shadow Dark sucks, this game system's a fantasy heartbreaker, what have you. And you know what? None of that really matters. And it's all on one level pretty much wrong. 90% of the time it's wrong. Most of the time, and I just watched a Sly Flourish video talking about Shadow Dark where he was explaining about some of the perceived shortcomings and saying how they weren't really problems, and it really tweaked something in me. One of the comments I think he made was that some people complain that the characters are too simple in Shadow Dark, and that makes it uninteresting, and that triggered me. So I'm making this video. If your characters are too simple and you find that boring, you're playing wrong. It's not up to the game system to make the character interesting. It's not up to the game system to flesh out the characters in ways that are compelling and sustainably immersive. It's up to the players and the game master running the game. I don't care what the system is. You know, other than maybe the crunchiest systems that really do take a long time to resolve things and break immersion consistently and focus on the system rather than the game. And there aren't too many of those that, you know, that are out there or that can't be fixed by house ruling. It's up to the characters, the players, to give their characters character. That's why they're called player characters, because they're positive actors in the world, and the game master should be fostering that. And if the game master is not fostering that, not giving them opportunities to interact with the world in ways that are affected by the character, then you're doing it wrong. That's not role play. It might be a perfectly valid game. I mean, you got board games like Hero Quest where you have lots of the mechanics that are similar to D&D and such, but they're not role-playing games. They're board games. And if you're not playing your character, if your character doesn't have interest, drives, if your character doesn't have goals in the game world, if you're not so immersed in that character when you're playing that character that you want to succeed as that character, then it's not about the game system as much as it is about the style of play. Now, there's lots of games out there that are better or worse than others at fostering this. Dungeon World is probably better at, say, 5e than fostering this through the game system. But that doesn't mean it can't happen in 5e. Far from it. I mean, even in the new version of Dungeons & Dragons, which, to be fair, I haven't seen, but from everything I hear, is not anything I'm interested in seeing, you can still play at a style that brings out the character's development, that doesn't have to be related to social themes in our real world today that they've pushed into these rules. You can still play this like it's 1066. That's up to the game master and the player. So before people get too caught up in this, and we're all caught up in this at the moment, the game system matters far less than the style of play and the way you play and the attitude people bring to the table through their characters. So what I'm basically saying to everybody out there, play your character like if he dies, you die. You won't notice the rules being bad so much if you do. At least that's my take on it. Thanks for listening.